Hey everybody, today is Wednesday, October 26, 2022. I'm Gene, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Hanging with Uncle. I know it's been a few weeks since we've done one of these. I've had some technical difficulties, but I think things are up and running again smoothly. So please hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. It really helps our channel out, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when we're putting out new content. And with that, let's get started. So, the midterms are about 2 weeks away, and I've already voted. I early voted. I vote by mail. I have for the past, I don't know how many elections. Never had an issue. It's been safe, and don't believe all the BS about how voting by mail isn't safe or how your um, vote could be compromised. So I want to debunk something really quick. I heard there was a robocall put out in some swing states like in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, about how if you vote by mail, you'll become part of a database and they'll have your information. Um, Long story short, that's BS. The people responsible for that have been convicted of crimes of voter fraud and other related issues regarding trying to dissuade people from casting their votes by mail. Number one, if you vote by mail, you're already a registered voter, which means you're already in a database. If you have a driver's license or an ID card, you're already in a database. So don't get scared. Don't, fall for the Chicken Little routine thinking the sky is falling and that you're somehow in danger because you voted by mail. It's ridiculous. Okay. So I live in Arizona, and there are a lot of at least two election deniers running for serious offices in this state. Number one is governor. Crazy ass Kari Lake is an election denier who has already stated she's not going to accept the results of the election unless she wins. Sounds just like the Tangerine Terror. Either heads I win, tails you lose. I'm sorry, but I don't play by those rules. And Kari Lake can kiss my ass. I voted for Katie Hobbs because I want my vote and everybody else's vote, no matter the results of the election, as long as they're a free and fair election and the will of the people is heard. That's all I care about. Um, Secretary of State Mark Finchem was at the Capitol on January 6, 2021, participating in the riots, and he's a self-proclaimed oath keeper, which a lot of those guys like Elmer Rhodes are in jail for a seditious conspiracy. Um, Again, I don't need any election deniers. I don't need any seditionists being in charge of how my vote is counted. Either you vote for me or your vote doesn't count. I don't believe that, and that's what Finchem is uh, perpetrating. So I voted for Adrian Fontes because I want my vote to count. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about Adrian. He was our county recorder in Maricopa County during the 2020 election. He ran for re-election as county recorder and lost to Mark Ricker. Um, he conceded the election very gracefully, admitted he lost the election. So, there was no fraud in the 2020 election. Otherwise, Adrian Fontes would have been reelected instead of being defeated. So that's why I know Joe Biden's win in Arizona was also free and fair because the same person that oversaw his loss oversaw all elections. Think, people. Think. Don't be stupid. Don't be Chicken Little. Use your brain. Put two and two together, and do not vote for Mark Finchem. Vote for Adrian Fontes. And last but not least, here in this state, one of an important race is one for United States Senator, and I voted for Mark Kelly. Not because I'm voting Democrat up and down the ballot, but I'll tell you why I did not vote for Blake Masters. Number one, he wants to do away with Social Security. I'm a Social Security recipient. I don't want my Social Security privatized. I paid into it over 40 years of my working adult life. And many of those years, I would say at least 30 of them, I worked two jobs trying to put food on the table and take care of my family. I don't want that jeopardized. I don't want my Social Security being tied to the markets where it goes up and down depending upon how the markets go. I also don't like the fact that he is anti women's reproductive rights. Number one, Blake Masters is not a doctor. He has no business trying to practice medicine without a law telling women what they can and can't do medically with their reproductive rights. So shut up. Those are two main reasons I voted for Mark Kelly. Again, these are valid reasons, and I do not support that. He hates our military. He thinks the people that lead our military are incompetent. A lot of people are scared that, oh my God, I don't want to go to war with Russia and China. I can tell you as a vet, Russia and China have nothing on the United States. They will be obliterated if they tried to have a military conflict with us. It would not end well for them. Not to say that we would go unscathed, but they would lose and we would not. So Blake Masters is an idiot. He can kiss my ass. He has no idea what he's talking about. And I voted for Mark Kelly. I watched the debates around the country over the past week or so. And Herschel Walker is a dumbass. He's a hypocrite. He has no idea what he's talking about. He's just a poster child for the Republicans, like Uncle Tim Scott of South Carolina, just trying to fit in and doing what they say so he can have that position because he'll vote the way they want him to. He has no mind of his own and couldn't put two and two together to know how to cast his own vote or what he stands for. Don't tell me you're a good Christian man who stands for family values and is anti-abortion when you have a history of domestic violence and have paid for at least one abortion that we know of because you've admitted to the check that was your signature on the check that paid for the abortion for your baby mama. Okay. So, no, I hope Herschel Walker loses. I watched the debate last night in Pennsylvania with Oz and Lieutenant Governor Fetterman. Now, maybe Lieutenant Governor Fetterman has had a stroke, but he still has his cognitive abilities with him. He stands for what's right. He's not trying to practice medicine from a political position. He believes that is between a doctor and their patient. No politician has the right to play doctor. Even Oz, who might be a doctor, said last night in the debate that he thinks local government, your local political politicians, have the right to step in and say what a woman can and cannot do with her reproductive rights. The Constitution gives us the right to procreate or not to, so that's a given. They've already taken Roe and they want to take more. Contraceptives, I mean, again, it's discriminatory. If I wanted to go to my local drugstore and buy some condoms, I could, but why couldn't a woman go to her doctor and get birth control pills? There's no difference, none whatsoever. And again, where are the protests outside urology offices where men get vasectomies? Because if life begins at conception, conception is impossible to have until a man ejaculates inside a woman, unless you have a test tube baby, and you still need that sperm from a man to ejaculate. So it seems to me like if we're going to be so pro-life, you hypocrites, then where are the picket signs outside the urology offices? Because it takes a man to start a pregnancy. All right, let's just be real about that. I'm not being sexist. It's just a fact. A woman cannot just decide to pop out an ovary that's already impregnated to go into gestation. It doesn't happen that way. Women are not chickens. They can't just lay eggs without a man's input. And I mean physically, biologically. So those are some reasons why I voted Democrat. Those are some reasons why I think that everybody should take a look at what's important up and down the ballot, not to mention voting rights. The Supreme Court has gutted voting rights. They don't care. They are only concerned about maintaining power, and the only way they can maintain power is to suppress the vote. Because let's face it, in 2016, Hillary got 3 million more votes than the Tangerine Terror, and in 2020, Biden got 8 million more votes. So there's more people that think like we do, and that is the Republican strategy to suppress the vote so they can stay in power, because they don't care about what's right. They only care about being in power. And that's why this important is so election is so important. So keep that in mind. Think about what you're doing. And again, if you're concerned about the economy means nothing if we don't have a democracy. So again, protect the democracy and we'll have an economy to work on. If we don't protect our democracy, if we don't maintain control of the House with Democrats and get at least 2 more seats to make Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin irrelevant, that is how we are going to get back on track to put the will of the people in power, because this is a government of the people, not the elected people, but the people. And this is what the people want. The people want sensible gun legislation. They want their voting rights protected. They want their personal rights protected, like their right to procreate. And only one party, the Republicans, are trying to endanger that. So that's why I voted the way I voted. It has nothing to do with party lines, because remember, I'm registered no party preference. It's about what you stand for on the social issues that gets my vote. And Republicans can kiss my ass this election cycle. So that's all I have for tonight. Zane and I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Stay safe and make sure that you cast your vote properly to save democracy. We'll see you on Friday.